It's worth mentioning that Eternal Fire are the closest we have to being a full sort of tier 2 team, as they were one of the ones that ascended at the beginning of the year. They've even brought in Spear as well, so they haven't just been sitting around, and they have a lot of young talent themselves.
Now they will be hungry right away. Showing some presence towards this C site are both teams. Eintracht Frankfurt taking the fight to Mound and Eternal Fire. Well, they were not ready for this much resistance. The nade down for Audas forces him into the fight, and he almost got two. Fizzy down to a sliver of health, but it's enough to hold on to the advantage for Eintracht Frankfurt. More than a man up, and the damage done to Neki and even Echo, adding up to what should be a pistol round in favor of the defense.
It's worth mentioning as well that we've seen this map a couple of times from Eintracht Frankfurt. They've always started slow. That's been their biggest problem. And right now, it looks like they're going to be off to a flyer. Neki caught in no man's land. An easy kill for Monster. Spike dropped on the ground, and unless Echo has a 1v4, I think this will be the first pistol round that they've won at the beginning of a Lotus game.
Yeah, you think back to the game against Heretics. Eintracht Frankfurt were in a very good spot, even going 3-0 down. They were able to bounce back and have a commanding position by the end of the half. Now, if that's anything to go by, you could look at Eternal Fire as being in danger. But I think if I've learned anything over the last week or two, Tom, there is no such thing as a free round. Ecos are no longer guaranteed, even if you've got advantages. And I think Eintracht Frankfurt are one of the teams that have learned that lesson as well. For Eternal Fire, they're going to come in with next to nothing. But what I want to see from them is some signs of life early on. I like that you
bought light shields.
You didn't. What? He did.
And there they go.
There's down to 8 light shields for tanking the nade. Now they're gone fully. But hey, look where he's gotten. So.
See, that's just a baller move, you know, where you have so much money that you're just like, I don't even care.
I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
I think maybe you should buy a gun and throw it off the map kind of thing. Like, I think, why stop there, right?
Flex on them.
Let's push the limits of what we can get away with. That was a weird buy, a weird investment. But it's not going to leave him in too bad of a spot for the next round, I suppose. But yeah, for Eternal Fire, it's not looking like much is going to be done here in this eco round. But a couple of kills would definitely be worthwhile. Again, everyone on Eintracht Frankfurt has invested here. There are credits on the line. Every pick matters for the attackers. And to be fair, they're up quite close already. But yet to really get a fight going their way.
Spike planted.
Opportunity for Orbs. And while every single close angle has resulted in a failure, a bit of an awkward fight for Jamalino, but in the end, it's Azuri to close out the round. It will be an in-zone flawless for the second round of Eintracht Frankfurt. And as you said, for a lot of teams, that has been easier said than done.
Well, Fizzy's got shields and plot armor. That's 2 rounds now where he's been basically dead, but somehow hung on. 4 HP, surviving the fight up top. This is where I thought they'd be in a bit of danger, but there you go. He took the right click in his stride.
He had a Marshall, right?
Yep. Marshall on like 40 HP, and he said, I'll get up close.
What does he have now?
Oh, yeah, we're going to show the people at home the in-game in a second, but he's got a judge.
So he's rebought, but he's only half rebought. Even though he did survive, yeah.
There is a Marshall somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
So he has a plan with this judge, which I hate, but we'll see how it goes. If anything, Fizzy might make this work. A very direct fight initially. The lurk of Echo is gone. Now they are committed to this side of the map, but well, the judge, it might have been slightly better than the Marshal in that moment, but that is Fizzy gone already.
Yeah, look at the space, though. They left B open for 10 seconds. It was a risk, but the lurk was going towards A. Space, the blank spot's not filled in by Eternal Fire, and now it's all that control, all that information early on. Musashi doesn't have to peek, but he wants to check it wasn't just the Prowler. With 3 players coming back, it does leave Eintracht Frankfurt in a bit of an unknown. That should give it away, though. Prowler coming up to A. Now they're starting to think, okay, it's an A hit. Rotation comes around from Jamalino. This is the idea from Eternal Fire, it seems. Bait that rotate, go back in another direction, but in fact, it looks more like they're figuring it out as they go.
There's still a snake bite available to slow the push on this C side if they were to go back that way. 25 seconds left. Musashi sat within the corner. Of course, he did pick himself up a rifle. Now they look to split back towards B. where he can look to pincer.
Seconds.
They also still have Jamalino here, but they managed to clear him. Maybe just in the nick of time. 10 seconds. The defense about to start their move early, but it's Fabian taking over. Third kill already in the round. Finally, he's now gone. Musashi also will clear that backline. And what was a little shaky for a moment, Eternal Fire come out with 3 alive.
I mean, that was a yo-yo round from them. They went back and forth an unbelievable amount. It did look like they were canceling their calls halfway through, deciding to go to the B site, then deciding to sell it as a ruse, then deciding to go all the way around through the Hobbit and back into the B site. But whilst I was getting worried that maybe they'd lost their way, it looked like they were able to at least get back onto the beaten path in the end. 2-1 on the board, and what ends up being a relatively comfortable close to what seemed like an uncomfortable round.
Well, of course, this is where that bonus isn't too much of a worry. Fine track Frankfurt, they're going to invest into this one. And Jamalino is 1 away from having that showstopper online. Just looking to try and control that A side of the map. Of course, is worth mentioning that Echo did go down early in the last, and he's still the lurk again. Aggression, though, from Spear, caught out by the utility, but even still, he'll take one. Another player now goes through in the form of Fabian, but it's very, very disjointed. One by one they go, and one by one they fall. I think in terms of a C-side take, Eintracht Frankfurt are going to hope they keep doing it like that.
Yeah, that's about as well as it could have gone. Only one man left in the form of Echo. He's got to find Jamalino up close, or he'll be giving him a showstopper for the next. In fact, he'll give it to him either way. Jamalino claims it with ease. 3-1 for Eintracht Frankfurt. And yeah, for Eternal Fire, you know, the round before, as I said, it looked like they were changing book. But this time, everyone had their own story to tell, and it's not really the kind of story that you're going to want to remember.
That TP is definitely the most insane of the lot.
Even if it was on time with the full push, you could see the benefit, but it's like a lull in the play,
it's like
a quiet moment, and he goes,
right,
now,
Fabian's dead.
Now I shall go.
3, 2, 1. I bet they're not looking anymore like yet. No, individually, they have been fantastic as well.
Yeah. I think Monster, we said it in the last game as well, going into it, that he's had maps where he has been the highlight of the squad, certainly the consistent factor.
Yeah.
But it looks like on Eternal Fire, they want to challenge this consistent factor, this monster, this beast of the sea site. And it will be a split that they go for. Already 2 players through B. Prowler not going to see them. That's space given up that I hope Eintracht Frankfurt are aware of. I said in the pistol, this was a gap that they left. This time that gap's been exploited.
Do they expect the second? No, they don't. This is a great round. I love this from Eternal Fire. I love this from the coaching staff. This looks like a coach call all over. There's a gap. Let's exploit it. Let's bait them into awkward positions. And what for Spear, that looks like the round closer already. Echo
take what's useful.
Will make this 4 players alive for Eternal Fire, and genuinely, all credit to the coaching staff. That genuinely looked like a moment where they went, okay, they've left a gap. We're going to send Echo further forward. We're going to make it even look like maybe we just, one player went through, or maybe we just baited the wall, and then the second layer of Ordaz watching is just perfect.
Yeah, because it's in some of these rounds, Monsters had his wall towards that C site, and they have left space to explore. I think maybe Eternal Fire are looking for that. They see the wall, they walk through it anyways. And the fact is, they've spent a lot of these rounds baiting that wall out. So you assume it's the same thing. Spear, a little slower than expected in making it through. He's caught by a lot of utility, and it doesn't matter, because although his ult doesn't find anything, Ordaz in the chaos caught Jamalino, Azuri down, and it looks like, well, they think they've got a route through to the C site. Fizzy's been spotted early, though. Musashi with the backstab denied as the door closes, and there's Trips covering his walk-up.
Fizzy has to pull off an insane round. He's going to get absolutely nothing for it.
Monster's back.
A more all-out brawl. Oh, he's now going to be able to retrieve weapon. Of course, this was more of a light buy, just purchasing what they could additionally. Timing for Musashi's not the worst, but the weaponry is truly not the best.
Last player standing.
And they're going to push them together. 2 players making sure. It's all left on to Monster. A couple of them are low, but there also then has to be the question of, is it worth more to hold onto the gun?
Eternal Fire do well to just fall back to behind their trips, keep that info, and Musashi breaks it. And so far, not offering individual fights. That does change with Echo, but that's because the pack has split up to hunt Monster down. He takes the first in 2. 2 remaining. Baits the reload to try to pull them into the fight. And now he's got his weapon. Back to fighting standard. I think this round already gone in his mind, but he can still make it costly. He can still bait them in. He's trying his best, playing all the cards in his hand. And a triple kill at least. He said he's been consistent. Nothing changes in this round. Nothing but the lead, leaving Eintracht Frankfurt's hands. But Monster will continue, at least with that weapon.
Yeah, it's funny because he bought nothing into this round. Just the pieces of utility he had, found that rifle on a corpse of a teammate. And that'll be enough for him to at least drop a few weapons. Even still, though, a more direct, brawly round of defense, trying to get in the faces of Eternal Fire. And these are the sort of rounds they want. These are the sort of rounds that I think they do their best work in the chaos.
Have Azuri with that responsibility over the C site. Of course, Viper's Pit's going to be online soon enough, and you can just leave Monster to be self-sufficient there, but the gap on B, not going to be left open anymore. Eternal Fire won't find a free site to walk into, but they are spreading the net. A different idea. Let's see exactly what that idea is in the listen-in.
Almost down.
Attım.
Ha kapı sana.
Dedim oğlum var.
Beğeni yok.
At. At.
Oynayın oynayın.
Var Viper burada beyler. Viper burada. Gel oyna.
Ve 2 tiri
Neyi
önü.
vardı onun?
Paid Race.
Aa pikliyor lan birisi. Phantom'da Vandal'dı ya.
Giriyorum içine gel.
Bir tane daha var.
Ha, giriyorum.
Gel girdim.
Paid Ayda boyu.
Hayır şurada şöyle parla verip gelsene şuraya.
Tamam bekle veriyorum. Verdim.
Sol yakın, sol yakın. Nice oğlum.
Çık Ömer.
Tight.
Hayır ulti Ömer.
Olur dikkat et.
Ha ultileri var. Main geldi.
Baycısı var, baycısı var boys. Ve bomba kapan.
Spike. Irrelevant.
Fade is late.
I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you.
You can be on me.
One up the door. He's gonna go B. If he does, we win.
I'm ulting.
Okay, I'm gonna come to you now. No, he's not gonna go B. I'm revealing elbow.
Yeah, close CT. Cypher.
Pillar, default. Yeah, side, cypher.
Default minus 170.
Standing. One enemy remaining. Take them. Marked one.
Jet plant.
And the...
And Neki survives there. 70 HP. The decay was hitting as well, but a good swing gets the round and the lead for Eternal Fire.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, you have these more direct plays in towards the C site, managing to get past Alluri in these moments is always going to be that little bit more difficult, but Monster still making competitive. And Musashi, well, he gets his first kill onto the board. He would have liked the second one to go with it, to at least keep them in the lead. And this is a reverse of what we've seen from them. As said, like, it's always been slower starts on this map in particular, and then an attempted comeback. Instead, now, they had the good start, but their opponents are building back into the map.
Yeah, Eternal Fire putting up attacker rounds, not slowing down. Spear maybe taking a bit too much space there as a shot to the face puts him down, and Eintracht Frankfurt, they have the advantage. Nullified for just a moment. Viper's Pit down on B, and immediately Eternal Fire have taken that A site. They're planting, and the pit has to be left. That's a big ultimate to be thrown by the wayside in a low-buy round. But they have found themselves a way back in thanks to Monster!
For every click,
In thanks to Monster! The beast awakens yet again! And it's Eternal Fire on the serving platter, the walk up behind being watched as well. But Azuri won't land the shot. Monster might have to do it all. And he'll be put down early, so Fizzy with a sliver of health.
Shadows traveling.
It's the last remaining hope for Eintracht Frankfurt in this round. It would have been a big pickup, a disruption on a low buy, but a thrifty not to be as Eternal Fire claim 5.
Yeah, I like the mid round just to leave that B site. I think if the plant is committed there to B, that pit is very good, but the preemptive pit just made it an easy decision for them to go back into the other direction. I think the danger now for Eintracht Frankfurt is you're starting to see what makes Eternal Fire truly terrifying, and it is just this all-out aggro, pacey hit. Like, Spear is in within seconds, through on his own, fight on his own. Moments later, it's Prowler, Fabian swinging angles at full speed. Like, you have to be so ready for this sort of team, and it seems like Monster is ready for that fight. I'm yet to see if the rest of the squad is.
Yeah, Monster's been there every round. But somehow it hasn't been enough. That was a spike!
Down A.
They've just given the spike away! Giving the game away!
Don't worry, maybe they can
Frankfurt.
use From the Shadows to get it back.
Oh yeah, exactly. They had the ult actually at the start of the round. Let's check in on it. Where's it at? Oh my goodness, Musashi's on a tear now. After being given a freebie, fighting his demons in the shadows. He's pulled Eintracht Frankfurt into the light, and listen, I'm not even sure it's worth a pause after that. A slap around the ears about all we can give. What was he thinking? Was he thinking? No.
I'm going to go with no.
No, it's the answer. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's certain moments where you kind of get it. You're like, okay, let's try and get in the player's head. And, yeah, I can't. Maybe didn't know he had the spike. Not really the best excuse, because once he TP'd, I'd hope one of the other 4 players could have gone, by the way, bud, you've got the spike. Maybe he failed to cancel the ult. Again, not the greatest excuse of all time.
No.
Or maybe they thought that, yeah, they're just not going to play anyone on B.
Just to be clear,
which is a bold call in itself.
Like, I just want to highlight the positions people died in, just for the proposed idea that he was meant to do that TP without the spike. I would ask, why didn't anyone push through B main? Why didn't they put pressure on? Even if you had a Vice wall there, which there wasn't, but some utility to slow you, Thorns, for example, you would have the question of why is he TPing at all, and why didn't you bait the util early? But in fact, it was just a Viper wall. No one tried. No one even tried. They just sat in main and watched Audaz hand the spike. I've seen players troll in ranked, and they haven't been that successful at throwing a round away. That's crazy. No timeout.
Becomes the second most interesting thing I've seen towards Hobbit Hole, other than someone nuking themselves.
Roger that, governor.
But there you go. Spears already started this one off with a bang. The showstopper. They're right back into the B site. They've sent Audaz off into exclusion. He's now...
Yeah.
They're like, you go over there.
We're going to take the spike this way. You go anywhere else.
This is his slap on the wrist round.
He's actually in a corner. They've put him in a corner to think about what he did.
He's on the naughty step. That was bad, Audaz. Don't do that again. You can play with the team again next round.
Timeout's over. He's allowed to come back now. Come on, join your friends again. No more biting.
Musashi defending with Jamalino. They've got the early positioning right. Of course, the other 2 players with a bit more delay utility playing those extremities, but losing Azuri early. Always going to be a problem. Monster has been the man to watch for this defensive side. And of course, he's going to be the man to watch again, the one under pressure. But we've seen this a lot. Their attempted pushes through, or teleports through, the Hobbit Hole. And while Musashi's only going to be able to get one, Jamalino is close by, but is being well watched, but not well shot.
It's an op there for him to recover as well on 50 HP. He might prefer it. Info, one towards Hobbit, he already saw, and another on the right. Paranoia on the way through from Fizzy, expecting to see, there we go, expecting to see that fire through as they emerge out of heaven. Spear dealt with on the trade. Neki kept back, but Audaz on the side. The game's being given away. Both players quite low as well for Eternal Fire. Monster, 9 HP, a sliver of health, but it's enough for him to rip Audaz's head off, and he gets on the spike. Neki tries to get in there, tries to disrupt. But Eintracht Frankfurt have this on lockdown, and what I gotta say, it has to be a frustrating scenario for Eternal Fire. They are the ones that toppled the first domino that's seen Eintracht Frankfurt equalize.
it's a back and forth that definitely looked like it was only going to go one way, but I feel like a broken record, but Monster has just been unstoppable. The immediate headshot while low on HP, a single bullet, even through the wall, in the leg, would have taken him down.
I'll find you.
But he survives to tell the tale. Back level we go. Eintracht Frankfurt still with an opportunity to take the half on their map choice. The good one, in fact. Look at the buy.
Yeah, very good opportunity. This is one where I don't want to see too many risks. Musashi,
He's got his gun, though.
he's heard the reload.
He's always a little risky with it, isn't he? But, like, the way he plays Odin is
ballsy,
yeah.
let's say. For example, he's in Hobbit right now, up against the Eco, and they're very close. But still, he'll get away with
He goes
one.
back.
He'll get away with two, even Paranoia.
Oh, careful.
But Neki, he has now given Eternal Fire a chance.
Look at the
Two
HP.
kills. A plant to be found as well. A very late lurk from Echo, but he's been... Oh, he hasn't been heard! But he won't get Azuri! And Azuri just runs away. Tis but a scratch. Doesn't even turn. As he wants that A site. They know there's only two here. So it's time to go. It's time to speed up! But Neki gets another double! And Amoda thrifty entirely off his back.
Well, I guess that I was saying maybe that half victory will be likely. I guess not anymore. His positioning just perfect to clear two players. And then the second that Nightfall went through, I was like, oh, that has at least missed one player. He was the one that was caught, so they thought, okay, we've got the one that it hit. Instead, they found the one that it hadn't, and then he's able to clear out the round. Huge from the IGL. 6-5 now. Eternal Fire in the lead. And the buy is definitely not the best coming into this one for SGE.
All up close, going through an orb would certainly level the playing field, but the Nightfall might just pull it back in Eternal Fire's favor. The first goes to Azuri, the second goes to Azuri, and Monster's here to help! Eintracht Frankfurt have the seaside on lockdown, and Echo is the one that has to try to break this hold. 5 players on the other side, an ult for Monster, and no reason to keep anything in the pockets. Jamalino closes us out on an in-zone flawless for 6-6.
Yeah, I think that C-site hold when you have both Monster and Azuri there was one of the biggest issues that Eternal Fire had. And Eintracht Frankfurt, well, they're going to get 3 of the last 4, 3 of the first 4. Nonetheless, Amanda maybe had a bit of a quiet half, but came back at the end. We spoke to Musashi earlier in the day.
Thank you so much for joining me, Musashi. Now, you came in through the last chance qualifier to be able to make it to these play-ins. What were your expectations for this event, and do you feel like you've met those expectations?
Thank you, first of all. I mean, I expect
more needed to push them all the way to playoffs and Barcelona. For you, all you got to do is scan that QR code, get your tickets for our Stage 2 finals. It's what these teams are fighting for.
Toxins going up.
A little bit before that, his pistol round could be the difference maker here.
Toxin screen down.
Well, obviously the first one did go the way of Eintracht Frankfurt. An early stack up from the defense, having a crossfire around A. It's where they expect the contention, but it's also where they had the cam deep on C, giving them a little bit of extra info. But if this push continues in this direction, well, Echo with a shorty is going to be under some serious pressure.
He's going to need an immediate upgrade. A lot to dodge as well already. The information not finding its way into Eintracht Frankfurt's hands. They might be surprised to find him up close, but
that's unlucky.
He's dealt with immediately. Can't pick back up as classic and get to firing away. Just a bit of damage onto Jamalino. I mean, quite a lot of damage, but a man advantage and a plant for Eintracht Frankfurt.
Oh, Musashi's caught though. A little bit further ahead. Flash will delay a little bit, but no one's been able to action off of it. If anything, on HP, there's a severe advantage at this stage. Fizzy and Jamalino low. Already Fabian clears out one, leaving that advantage going further and further in one direction. And it's Neki once again. He's had a few fantastic multi-kill rounds. I think one of the reasons that this scoreline was level in the first place, and he will be the reason that they take the lead.
Well, yeah, it was the 4K towards the end of the half. That's really what he's going to remember from this game. Starting with a Sheriff, getting a double kill, getting hit by a Nightfall, and still walking away with another 2. And now he's put the pistol on the board, the lead in the hands of Eternal Fire. On the other side, Eintracht Frankfurt, it's a measly buy, a Bandit and a Sheriff, all that they've got to work with. And this is a time to experiment, to feel out how Eternal Fire want that early fight to go. It looks like they're going to wrestle for some rubble control. Fabian on the line with a quick escape, and he'll find himself a kill with each barrel.
Maybe a chance to boost those stats a little bit. Okay, he gets a bit lucky with that one. Izzy trying to be cheeky, and now he goes in with a pistol himself. I think Fabian deciding, okay, I've only had 5 kills in the first. I want to make sure that I'm not being eclipsed by my IGL. That was going to be my talking point. You don't normally see Spear and Fabian at the bottom of the board and still having a lead.
Did he just get body blocked into that angle? He took his knife out. It looked like he wanted to go to the right. And I did see someone to his right. I can't say for sure, but it looked like he might have got body blocked. They hung him out to dry. Either that or, well, he brought a knife to a gunfight for some reason. No ace to be found, but you know what? 8-6 up. And a lot of orbs for Fabian. I don't think Eternal Fire are going to be all too upset.
Yeah, they did lose that Outlaw, though. So a bit of a pricey weapon to get dropped because the man with the pistol was nowhere near close enough. The good thing for Fabian is because of how many kills he got, he is one off his ultimate. So maybe they're actually just going to have him buy a rifle into this round. And if it goes well, great. If it doesn't, he still has the overdrive into the next.
Oh, there you go. Musashi's being supportive. You'll live to see it, not just with his utility.
I'm sure Fizzy was just as supportive.
Yes, yes. Nothing but good vibes from Fizzy down on that stage. Oh, 2-round gap and a buy up for the attackers. She said,
look at the stack.
Investment from Eternal Fire. They're willing to gamble their credits and also gamble in the round. 4 players early on towards the A site. In fact, basically 5, considering where Neki is.
Yeah.
But the Prowler goes up on B. Eternal Fire put all the regs into the A basket. And I don't know if it's the Prowler or just the late rounding in general, or the mid rounding in general, but Eternal Fire have given up B, and that space is now being taken.
Yeah, they don't even have a cam or a trip. They have nothing.
Everything on
the
A.
C side of the
Genuinely.
map. They've just decided either we go all in or they play retake. And honestly, I don't mind it, the way that they play the game. I feel like that works better, having those crossfires. But you can now start to see Neki going, okay, it's been a little bit too long that there's been no pressure on this side of the map. Yet to take over C just yet, but if he times his final Prowler right, he might get his teammates at least a little bit of a head start. And well, there you go. That's the information they needed. And this is the moment we start to see those players move. But even still, it's a little slow.
Zuri's playing super slow towards the B side as well. He's now hearing all of these steps coming down outside A lobby. He knows the flank is underway. He's got a little box to hide behind, and Fabian's alone. But he's been spotted. Azuri now in danger. Paranoia is going to catch him, and he should be dead to rights. A little bit of damage he has to show for his position. But in the meantime, Eintracht Frankfurt, they came back to help. The beacons were lit, and Fizzy, well, he answered the call, but it's a bloodbath. Eternal Fire are miles ahead. Monster has to have another grand stand. As the time ticks, they get on the site. Musashi falls, and it is all in the hands of Monster. A triple kill. The defuse all ready to have. Monster has to hurry. And Echo knows a fight must be taken, but will not be won. A Red Bull clutch for the unkillable Monster.
Except to the spike.
Yeah, he did go down. But it doesn't count as a death. It doesn't count as a death. He's still 22-8.
Yeah, I thought, like, with how slow Eternal Fire was in that moment, that they had no chance of winning this round. Like, they were getting trapped by the wall, having to clear players through middle, a lot of delay.
For every click, every clutch.
By the way, he has double the kills of anyone else in the server. That's how much better he's doing. We're in round 16.
It's getting a bit ridiculous.
He has 22 kills. The next highest is 11.
there, Monster has finally died. Early pick, information removed from the hands of Eintracht Frankfurt, and most importantly, a new hero will be called upon.
There.
Eternal Fire will extend their lead. Azuri, nice opening onto Echo. Musashi finds Spear, but the trades. Azuri!
What?
Stepping up to the plate a little late, but it does not matter. And he's found himself a third. Well, Monster clearly passed the baton before taking that op shot. And Odd has the last chance to keep that lead. You're looking at an equalizer.
I feel like Neki just got done at their own game. Someone running into a smoke and still winning a fight. That sounds like the MO of Eternal Fire. Well, for Ordaz, okay. First one comes easy. That was a showstopper down. That's helpful. He's managed to cross towards the site, but he does not expect Azuri on that backline. Another multi-frag round, but this time it's Azuri to take it home. Mentioned him at the beginning of how well he's been playing throughout the tournament, and he's at least going to stop it being that fact. The Monster now no longer has double the kills of everybody.
For now. For the time being. That may change.
It does get harder and harder as the game goes
Yeah,
along. He now needs to get to 28 with no one else getting a kill.
6 kills, so it would be tough. But an eco coming, a chance to farm, perhaps. One would hope. Eternal Fire, though. 4 players on A early. They want to fight. Who's surprised?
Oh.
The showstopper active. I'm surprised to even see that. They know there's numbers here, but they don't turn. They don't show tail. Instead, they go running forward into the meat grinder, dismantling it piece by piece, but some flesh removed, some bones showing, but Eintracht Frankfurt still strong in a 3v1. Echo makes a damn good try of it, but the lead now in the hands of the attack side.
Yeah, at least in my head, I was looking at that and going, okay, they've used the showstopper to try and keep that as a cleaner round. Like, we want to try and get an easy opener, and instead, they end up losing 4 players. Great haunt, but I think the shot into the floor was almost just Jabalino going, actually, I'd rather have the sniper here. I don't want to be peeking into these angles at these moments. Even still, Eternal Fire have done well. They made it very costly. Fabian seems to be on the rise as he now has that operator back into play. And with that weapon in hand and a very aggressive start, this now becomes Eintracht Frankfurt having to reset. Let's listen in.
No. They have C control. Let's maybe go fast, eh? Like run a bit and make deep pressure.
Yeah, they probably be.
Yeah. I'm on a full white pick.
Hold on.
Good. Cameras on me. I smoked stairs already. I think it's fake, maybe. I think it's fake, guys, I think.
Did you open up the door?
Can we just freeze? We open door.
Can we just freeze and act like it's fake?
I mean, they will have up here.
Going to play, guys.
Stop it open. No. Guys, we can just go 3 main, please. I will ult there at 3 and side, and you go for timing picks, okay?
Yeah, I will molly stairs. Maybe
careful up heaven
maybe
dodging it.
stairs.
Yeah, we smoke stairs.
You have smoked over.
Smoke stairs. And careful up heaven. That's the only thing we have left.
Okay, I'm molly
No
stairs.
one 3. No one side. No one drop. I will reveal drop just in case.
I will ulti.
Yeah. Oh, no plant. I plant, guys. I plant.
No one's drop.
It's weird plant. I back real. No, I don't need to.
Operator on me.
Gonna ult. Gonna ult.
Planted.
Yeah. I found coming if you die.
Hemen ultimi basacaksın, tamam mı?
Stun'ım var,
Nerede
stun'ım var.
Bas body, bas. Nerede vurduysa bas.
Nerede vurdun?
Smoke'tan vurdu, at default'a doğru.
Kayıyorum.
Kola açacağım gözüktüğü yere.
Attım mor bende. Gel kayıyorum ona. Kayacağım gel.
Kay.
Çözdüm.
Sağda.
Koşuyor.
Nice. AP.
Gel. Ulti gel. Arda çöz. Dur.
A valiant attempt inside the pit, but, well, they could have
so
used the
costly.
showstopper there. But even if they had it, it wouldn't matter. Jamalino taken down so early on. But I have to say, once they get onto the site, Eternal Fire do the right thing. They know they have the advantage, and the patience they showed here, sitting back and just harassing them through the pit, it paid off.
Yeah, I don't know what Spear has just found 2 filthy shots through, but that's a painful round for Eintracht Frankfurt. That is them using a Nightfall, that's them using a Viper's Pit as well, Steel Garden, like 3 ultimates, and I'll be honest with you, Eternal Fire again, they look good in these retakes. I think that's why we've seen them gamble so heavily in early rounds, is because when it comes down to if Echo can hold some of the space for them to get back in, which he did excellently in this round, their retakes have been great. Again, it's just them grouping up and playing together.
It's the old shield and spear strat. Everyone else is just blocking while You send Fabian to go poke them, and he poked 2 out of the round. Jamalino traded immediately, but Eintracht Frankfurt keep the momentum going. Man advantage now in their hands, despite the damage done. The AWP will be denied the pick, and Neki will be taken down. That should have been the surprise angle. Fabian, oh, well, he's going very, very aggressive indeed. Echo's caught Azuri, taking down the planter as well. And guess who has to step up yet again? It's Monster, whose back must be sore. This responsibility resting on his shoulders in so many rounds. And he's delivered another, even on low HP. The Thorn's active. Fabian tanking damage to get close. He'll tap that spike to bait him in, but he'll find Monster is repositioned. He's wrapped all the way around. He doesn't believe in it being stuck, and now he knows he's made the right call. A masterful play by Monster, and another big round for this man. A Red Bull clutch for 10-9.
I feel like he's going to have a stand in the football stadium if he keeps going at this rate. The Eintracht Frankfurt fans are going to be losing their minds watching the brilliance of Monster. We've talked about the aim all the way through, the crisp shots, but this was the brain. He won that clutch.
What are we doing? Let's play, guys. Let's play.
Another round that can almost solely be put down to him, and another pause.
He didn't deliver to the standard that was set by Uli, and I might have made some jokes at his expense. Well, this is even better than what Uli sold me. Let me tell you, I thought he was a snake oil salesman, but my guy had the miracle cure. It seems like Monster might just be what many VCT teams needed. Honestly, the scouting department's being put to shame with a performance like this. And also, again, a performance where even coming into today, I'm saying like, oh, well, we keep talking about how good he's been, but you can't expect him to keep going. Yes, you can. Yes, you now can
Impossible.
Keep going. I want to see this every game.
They might need it. It's a close game, and they are winning by a singular round, when maybe it should be so much more. And I will say as well, going into a round like this, I'm not confident they're going to convert it. Showstopper for Sphere, Rifle for Echo. Neki's also been good in these moments, and it's also Musashi gone immediately. That's Fabian just having a Sheriff. Nothing else to play with in this round. The net spread for the attack this time, clearing some space out of A, taking the orb over on C. And at least this time, Eternal Fire have the gamble completely wrong.
You've heard of the shoulder peak. Jamalino showed us the trampoline peak there. They'll never expect you up that high. They definitely did fall for it. I'm not sure what else they were supposed to expect was happening, but him going forward, him taking the position on the box. But now the showstopper's giving the game away. Deep control towards this A site. Halfway gone already. He can make it up top. And fire that. He could have went for the spawn. There is a target-rich environment, but secures the site instead. For Eintracht Frankfurt, they're not up against much, but that showstopper is a real concern. It's already made it to the backside. It's hunting them down in tree, but luckily the door had closed.
No.
But Musashi just got caught through the crack.
Already halved. Spear is just sticking this. He's just trying to stick it through, but it's the spam from Fizzy at the last second. A Monster up to 28. It definitely still got a little bit dicey, but Eintracht Frankfurt survived with 3.
Well, the snakebite didn't even help out until the very last kill. That was entirely just Fizzy spamming the box that took down the diffuser. It's the strangest peak I've ever seen in my life. I just wish someone was on the angle just to see them whiff on this guy doing clown maneuvers. The circus act, but hey, it's working out. 11-9. A 2-round gap now for Eternal Fire to make up, but they've come in with the big buy. And Fabian on this defense with that operator, he's the reason that retakes have looked good. Like we've said, you can concede space when he's making them pay for it at every turn.
What is Ordaz still suffering from his previous mistakes? He came into this round with no shields, so he's had to make a sacrifice for one of his teammates. Maybe that's to get the operator into Fabian's hands. We'll see if that was a worthwhile trade. Well, he's already taken a lot of space for them. The problem is, we've spoken about it before, the loss of Echo is a huge issue. He is that anchor on the site. He is the man that holds space for retakes, and with him being gone, Ordaz, the man with no shields, is having to fill in the gap.
And he's already used both of his shrouded steps. He can't escape anymore. All he can do is fight for his life. And he's done a damn good job taking a double Necky there to pick up the pieces that Spear dropped. The wrap around, it's a death sentence. Monster in the 1v1, the stun just about dodged. Up against the up against the ult, and he'll be taken down this time. Finally, a clutch denied for Monster. An Eternal Fire still in with a chance at this map as a result.
Yeah, it's the combo breaker again. 5 of the last 6 rounds have gone the way of Eintracht Frankfurt, but Eternal Fire with Fabian now top, by the way. I think he had 5 kills in the first half.
Yep.
He's been on a fantastic comeback, few eco kills in there, but you know,
4K with the Outlaw, yeah.
You take what you can get. And this one was the most important of the lot. Keeps them in a position where they could buy it. And a victory here may even be holding the value of 2. Both teams spending everything for this round.
Oh, Fabian has been spotted. The reveal behind him, no one to break it and no way out. Jamalino getting the punish.
Bring them down.
For Eintracht Frankfurt, that is the main danger man. Removed, Necky falls as well. And they're still watching for Spear. He's lost his weapon. He's lost his mind staying up close like that. Damage done onto Echo. He's down to 51 HP and Ordaz, well, he's taking risks for a rifle. One now secured. Still, the retake, the man disadvantage needed.
Echo's just going to send it, isn't he? Never waiting for teammate support, and sometimes that works, sometimes it loses them rounds. This time, it has given them an advantage, and more importantly, given them info. Musashi caught, and Fizzy goes down as well. Again, it looked like the advantages were there, but this time, that is Ordaz's redemption. A round that he lost for the team, and now a round that he has most certainly won for them.
What was Musashi thinking? A 2v2, he pulls out his ult.
Well, it can't go through walls, can it?
An ultimate that, just to be very clear for anyone that doesn't know, goes forward in the direction you're looking and tells you if there's someone there. Actually, it shows you exactly where they are. A little trail pointing you right to him. Little breadcrumbs.
My ultimate is ready.
And he peeked with it in his hand. What's the point? If he's there, you need your gun. If he's not there, well, shit, the ult's going to show you that anyway. What are we doing? That was a silly mistake. And at this moment, that's not where you want to see the jitters start to take over. It's a timeout, I think, being called here as well. 11-11. Honestly, it could be either team calling for this, but it's Eintracht Frankfurt on panic stations after losing 2 in a row. Actually, both. I used both.
Hey, to be fair, that is what Eternal Fire
It's
did
kind of a
most of the
spooky
time.
peek. You think about it, he has his hands out for the ult, he's peeking out. Whoa, jazz hands, throw him off. It didn't work, he got shot in the face, but it could have worked if the other player was silver. 11-11. Eintracht Frankfurt losing the lead, but calling their last timeout. An emergency meeting to hopefully get them back on track.
Yeah, this was the same retake setup that we saw before, but maybe going to try and avoid that Nightfall showstopper. I think this is a good read coming through. We saw, in fact, this exact position held by Echo before looking to try and retake into the site. Now, they haven't managed to get an orb onto Necky just yet. In fact, Echo, after avoiding everything, has just walked back into the site. The TP! Oh, Fizzy's caught out completely. Smoke's not going to be available. Now the showstopper goes through Ordaz. A little ahead of the game. And Necky's trying to run through the utility. He's made it. He's got his kill. And now can use his Nightfall himself.
With the flank of Monster, this is going to be huge. He might have just missed the boat. Could have caught Fabian on the cross, but he was speedy. He made it towards the side already. They're going to put pressure onto that spike any moment. Now Monster needs to hurry up, and it's a good hold. Musashi finding one. It's given the advantage there. Monster's backstab now known. There's no time to check under the bed. Spear's going to go for that defuse. Half already. Trying to find that slippery player on the other side, and it's the wrap from Monster, running the clock all the way down. 12.
For every click.
Pick.
Yeah, 31 kills is what it has taken to get him there. I feel like you could accept him being mad if they don't manage to take this one over the line. Again, we see these all in play. It is infuriating because I feel like when we see Eternal Fire truly wait for the retaker's 5, it looks good. And then when they're just making like these hero plays all the time, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a pause after this one if they had a pause left. Instead, Spear wants that orb. And while SGE want to deny him of the orb, but Fabian has managed to take down Fizzy instead. They did not get the showstopper though.
Yeah, they're not going to try it anymore either. No more risks towards the C site. Nice tag. Jamalino's down to 10.
This is a Cypher no shields outlaw.
Yeah.
Only Eternal Fire.
Is.
Only Eternal Fire.
Are his traps broken or did he not have any?
I don't know the answer to that, but I would lean towards not having any.
I think he might not have had any. And, well, for that, okay. Well, I wouldn't be happy with that. I'm going to assume he had traps somewhere and they got broken because I don't want to get angry unless I'm certain. So let's just follow that train of thought. So it's a 4v3. Jamalino's very low. Full space on the A site. Eternal Fire being pulled back the other direction. Their solo site hold with an outlaw and utility God knows where has not worked out. Will they play the retake together? They know there's a player down below. They want to punish Jamalino. He's 10 HP as well. Such an easy kill, and when Spear finds him, it's the orb that they were waiting for. It's the showstopper to push them towards this site, but a sneaky Azuri, unchecked! It almost cost them the round, and it may still, with Monster and Musashi bringing it home. 13 to 11, a hard.
Phoenix has been consistently quite good, and I think as well he didn't have the greatest of first maps, so I think that's a good sign going into this map that he's basically just going to have utility that's going to consistently allow him to be more aggressive and, well, not die.
In terms of the start, Eintracht Frankfurt on the attack already, wasting no time getting up into heaven, but Eternal Fire want that retake. Phoenix leading the way. Flash gets them through the wall to start with, but look at Eintracht Frankfurt descending on them towards the screens, but Neki only has pressure from one side. Musashi doesn't find the hits he needs, and Eintracht Frankfurt get a plan, but with a man disadvantage.
Jamalino up close. He's actually got away with that. I thought peeking any wider, he would have been dead for sure. Instead, leveling the playing field, falling back, and a bit of an audacious position being held, but they are holding the line. It's only Neki to find anything from that point onwards. And Eintracht Frankfurt, after losing the opening fight, and Eternal Fire coming in on the retake, have held.
Well, Eternal Fire have been great on retakes. Neki finding Musashi there, you know, cut one head off the snake, and there was no one else to punish. So it seemed like, yeah, they've gotten away with everything they need to put this round under their belt, and I think now is an important time to talk about expectations in this first half, because for Eternal Fire, obviously we're favoring them on this map, but if Eintracht Frankfurt don't get off to a good start on the attack, I think that's where we really get worried. Like, we want to see this half looking locked down for the attackers. Otherwise, I do agree with the desk that we are looking at a third map.
Yeah. Versus Mates, it was an 8-4 attack half versus Focus back in Challengers, also an 8-4 attack half, so I'd agree.
The Mates game was close in the end, right? It was like 13-11.
Yep.
Yep.
So it was more their attack that ended up doing the work, but I also think for Eternal Fire, the thing that's always been there with this roster is, okay, all it takes is one thing to ignite them back into that terrifying, fast-paced force, but if it goes a few rounds where that doesn't happen, we've also seen them not that long ago get 13-0'd, so they can just dwindle out this round. Bit of an interesting one, 3 players into B. The flanker is being flanked, but does Jamalino know that there is a player behind? Absolutely not is the answer. There's another one coming up for Echo, but luckily, Musashi, the IGLing Rays, has kept them in this round, a chance for maybe even to get just 2 away from the showstopper if they want to give it to him. Instead, no. Monster says, you know what, I need to start building up my 30+ kills again.
I think it's a very interesting one for me, having Musashi playing the Rays here with how the last few maps have gone for him here on the VCT stage. It's a great opportunity now to pick up some of that confidence, because he's been quiet against Heretics in the first map here as well. He's certainly not quiet anymore, is he? A 2-0 start for Eintracht Frankfurt, but Eternal Fire get the buy-up. As you said, it takes that one round to reignite that flame. It looks like they're putting stock in mid. Extremities covered by 1-3 in the middle for Eternal Fire. The Phoenix ready to fight on a flash, but Jamalino's already up in their grill, taking an aggressive stance against this team. It's a bold move, but it has paid off.
Oh, I like it. A set plan to try and kill anybody in towards that vent position. The C's was perfect, and from then onwards it was all Jamalino, but well, you look back to his previous performance, 20+ kills. You expect him to deliver. The 16-year-old has already made a name for himself, and well, for Neki, he might have had his moments in the last map. He might be one of the only players on his team that even has a kill at the moment. But I think a 1v4 clutch from this point. Wow. He's been given one for free. But that's all she wrote, I think.
I remember there.
Azuri's going quite far forward.
This is a risk for sure. I mean, they are paying for this round with a borrowed card, but I still don't think it's worth giving too much away here. Neki now no longer in contention for the round, at least. That's the main thing. So now we're just hunting the weapon for the sake of punishing that economy, and I think that job is already done for Eternal Fire. 4 players taken down, upgrades given to Eintracht Frankfurt, and a 3-0 start. As we said, expecting this to be the better half for Eintracht Frankfurt. They got to choose to start here. The numbers point towards it being certainly the safer of the two sides. But a 3-0 shutdown like that, confidence right away from Jamalino, the judge.
For every click, every clutch.
Eternal Fire, again, they were setting a trap, and then they had a different trap sprung on them.
Yeah, I really like this. Again, the 2 players caught by that C's. It made them so easy to take down. Because that's the thing, just going in there with the judge, stupid. Doing what they did, very smart. Because like the likelihood of you being able to win that fight means an instant headshot is necessary. A 3-0 start on that attack side, mentioned how important it was going to be. And now we look for that flare, that spark again for Eternal Fire. Their year almost peaking in stage 1. Of course, we give them the out of kickoff. It was not fair, the scenario that they found themselves in. Players too young. Organization ended up ducking out. But after stage 1, we expected a whole lot more. Well, we're expecting a lot more from Neki in this round, but this might be it.
Yeah, Musashi can't even be punished there. The paranoia from Audaz, he'll get close, but an immediate response. The hunt and the fallback, nobody there to punish. And Monster's gonna catch Audaz completely unaware, swing in for more. Like, this is the thing, look at last round, they're in a 4v2, and Monster just solo swings into heaven. It's the kind of game he's having right now. He's going to get it. It's at least a backstab. That's a clean flick. That is a clean flick.
Well, like Fabian didn't check that, but also he would have done within a split second. It just didn't get the split second.
That was so quick, man. I thought maybe he can go for the knife kill. Maybe he can have patience, you know, just follow him up. But he doesn't even. I don't even know how he processes he's there when he's on his head.
Where are you going, Fabian? For gun?
For a gun? Well, you're not getting it. 4-0 for Eintracht Frankfurt. And again, another phenomenal start for Monster.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, 4-0. Great position from Eintracht Frankfurt. Let's listen in to the comms.
Wait, after the smoke.
Yeah.
Wait.
I have gun options.
No.
Wait.
Do it now.
You can hold yourself. Yeah.
Guys, if you want, I can ulti be...
Yeah, I think we do it for sure.
I'm ready whenever.
Viper, B main.
Do it.
Viper B.
Go B, guys. Go B.
It's gonna molly.
Face your fear.
We are mollied.
Okay,
One guy close right. One new box. And backside.
I think close. I think
I'm
close.
sorry.
We are blocked right now.
I'm mollied also.
Nice, chill a bit, chill a bit, chill a bit, chill a bit.
You can freeze.
Might be on left.
Riyad, listen. I will seize left. Let's see if he's there.
Yeah.
Satchel out.
I didn't hear seize.
Let's go back to mid, please.
Oh, we have P7, guys. Chill.
Yeah, I'm coming. B
fake
heaven.
round.
I'm coming.
Yeah, okay. Get Riyad, we wait for the smoke and we play again.
Yeah. Fake smoke. Oh.
I don't have any ult.
I'm with you.
We need to peek now.
Can you hold it for me?
Yeah,
peeking.
holding.
I'm ulting. Go with him. Go.
Maybe backside, Omen.
Two more here, Two more here.
Yeah, Omen backside, guys.
Yeah, I go out
Omen
there.
backside.
Backside Viper, backside Viper.
One enemy remaining.
We go outside.
30 seconds
be even.
left.
Up.
Spike down B.
Haven't.
I'm hiding.
Hold red.
Monster's on a tear yet again. But he might be called on one more time in this round. Fabian puts it down to the 1v1, and Fabian takes it across the line. Finally, Monster will be denied, put to bed. But not before he took a chunk out of them. He's 9-2, but it's 4-1 on the board with the Red Bull clutch for Fabian.
Yeah, a big individual round from him. It got very dicey with that retake attempt into heaven. A blind shot landed, in fact, a couple, but even still, Fabian was able to turn this, an operator holding, and then just quick enough to clear out Monster. Nice couple of shots, and Neki certainly feeling it. But that needs to be the start of many. It's a good round to win, and they keep the operator. That's the most important thing. But the rest of the purchasers already feeling the heat a little bit. While Fabian tried to get them an early lead. Instead, though, look at the run-through. Jamelinho's just gone. They have no idea.
He's in the fast lane, quite literally. Fabian down, blindsided. And the A side has fallen. Seconds into the round, they've lost all control. But Eternal Fire, we talk about the retakes. This is where they're putting up the numbers. This is where they've looked the best. And they've still got plenty to get them back in. Between Spear's utility, the paranoia, and Echo just finding an opening pick, but he drops into Fizzy. Unaware of the player down below. Now Fizzy can't get out. But can they force him out of that position? They've got nothing to make him peek. And all he does is check for the info. A problem, a thorn in their side that they never know when that knife is going to twist. The reveal gives them a little bit of info. It puts them down to 35, but he's still capable of striking from those shadows, taking one down, but finds two. Hello! No one's covering the defuse. Neki's down. Odas asleep at the wheel. Pulls out the op, looking to take Fizzy, and he'll find the shot. Does he have time? It's going to be down to the wire.
No.
Right down to the wire, and in fact, it's enough for Eintracht Frankfurt for Fizzy to get the Red Bull clutch.
Well, the thing that Fizzy did in this round was just create so much doubt. The reason Ordaz isn't covering that angle anymore is because he created another smoke. So he went, oh, he's wrapping. He's got to be wrapping round to the corner. And all Fizzy did was put that smoke up and then just not move. He just stood in the exact same place. And it was that doubt that caught them off. They thought they'd missed the timing on him. And instead, no, he was in exactly the same place he was before.
Beautiful little bit of misinformation. Then they fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Look at him. Time for Musashi. Letting them know. And a timeout now.
Sort of thrive off that. Fizzy in those moments. Like, he's kind of is leaving his teammates out to dry, but he knows, okay, if I can just waste time, if I can make things awkward, if I can play with their heads a little bit, that's enough to win the round. It seems like everybody's on the same page. Now, there's a lot of ultimates in this round for Eternal Fire, but there's no weaponry. So they've decided to utilize some of it just as like a, okay, we don't want to have all of our ults for one round sort of thing. But they've not done it in a place where anybody is. So now the overdrive's chasing them down. And I think it's run out just to go around the corner. Now they've got nothing.
It's a big investment. And very limited returns. A super late play coming in as well. Cast your eye to mid and you see Musashi playing on his own tempo. But for Eternal Fire, well, they had them surrounded. Now there's a gap. Now Screens is open. The flank on Heaven coming through. Jamelino's not even trying to kill him. He's just trying to draw his eyes so Musashi can stab him in the back. And with all it as the final piece picked up by Monster. 6-1, barely breaking a sweat in this round. Expected considering the bye, but when you put the pit in, you put the overdrive in, and you get basically nothing for it. It does add a little bit of a sting to this round that otherwise you'd write off as just an eco.
Yeah.
You use 2 ults for this shit, bro?
That's a much harsher way of putting it, Fizzy, but that is roughly what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Oh, you know, coach just start having a nice little snack. Clearly not feeling any pressure at this point. And enjoy yourself. Have a nice time, lads.
Oh man, now Musashi's crouch peeking you.
They're being aimed diffed. That's
just
not
bought.
something I thought coming into this game I'd be saying, but
Yep.
they are being aimed diffed.
By Musashi's crouch peek. Yeah, Jamalino's in their spawn and Fabian's got his hands up trying to run for the sprint. Although,
Okay.
hold on, this is now looking doable. Spears ults at least finding one. Echo gave his life up in the chaos. Necky, a few shots landed, a few bars low on the Eintracht Frankfurt side, but this had to be the round for Eternal Fire. We're talking about those 8-4 halves for Eintracht Frankfurt. Well, that was the full buy. We're going into the eco, and they're at 7-1. This is where Eternal Fire might enter panic stations.
Yeah. I'm looking at a German football team, 7-1 in the lead. Where have I seen that before? Yeah, this is, again, coming into this map, not what I expected. There's been opportunities for Eternal Fire, but you could see the frustration growing on their face, and maybe even some confusion on the face of their opponents. That's now all of those ults gone. The ones that could have been the change on their defensive side, the defining factor for them to get back into this map, those have dissipated. And it's looking like another tier 1 team, in this case an Ascension one, on the chopping block versus those challengers. Eintracht Frankfurt looking to join their brothers in the playoffs. Something that, again, you talk back about the LCQ, the play-in, everything they had to go through just to get to this stage anyway.
Almost out.
And getting any further seemed unlikely, but
no.
they don't care. Necky, okay, that one's free.
Spike down.
But even still,
Traded by a boom bot.
Go, go, go.
Eintracht Frankfurt looking to stabilize now, and unless Fabian has another round that he can pull off alone, it's going to be the same, 8-1.
Yeah, when you see the boom bot coming in as an effective trading mechanism, it's always a little bit worrying. Eternal Fire, they didn't have much to play with in this round, but this is already Eintracht Frankfurt putting it straight between the goalposts. This is the round that they wanted. That's tough for Audaz. Another ult committed. It really feels like Eternal Fire stand their best chance in the next round. Because every ult they've used so far has caused them big issues. Now they've got to buy only the Nightfall that's never been misused in this series. And if they don't wake up now, well, it goes from bad to worse. A map that they're favored on, they'll have to be flawless.
It feels like they almost have to be flawless from this point onwards. Anyway, Echo, he's done well. He's done very well, in fact. Both of the double duelists gone. Operator now in play. The spark looking to be lit. And well, it's beaming. An in-zone flawless. The cleanest round by far in this map. And well, for Eternal Fire, that's exactly what they needed in this moment.
Oh yeah, something to put a smile back on their face. You saw the frustration as they lost the last 2 rounds. It was starting to seep in, but now maybe they can believe in it again. Believe in the bounce back. Remember, it's not just in this map, it's in this series, but it's a matter of survival here for Eternal Fire. There's no time to take your foot off the pedal. And right away, Fabian getting aggressive, but he's caught off guard. Jamalino swings in, a jump scare. As finally, he sees his opponent, but too little, too late. A 5v4, damage done to Spear as well. And not to show for that early mid-aggression.
That's why I was mentioning that Eternal Fire are not one of the teams in contention on points as of right now.
Well,
they
true.
need a whole lot more. Showstopper. Along with the divide, and well, divided and conquered. Down goes 3 players in quick succession. And even Jamalino icing on the cake. I said the last was the most dominant round we've seen so far in Eternal Fire's favor. That might be the most dominant round we've seen all series. An in-zone flawless. Eintracht Frankfurt back to back. Well, with their ults, they made it look very easy.
Audaz must be screaming. Look at that stun, man. He's on the edge of the smoke, timing again up in heaven.
Guys, keep it up, keep it
Jamalino had that to a T. But the second Audaz goes, this is my timing. Steps out of the smoke, stun at his feet. Like, they didn't know. They just guessed. And they guessed right every step of the way. Eintracht Frankfurt winning a game of Battleships. Eternal Fire didn't know they were playing. And again, Jabalinho! He's got a double, but Neki responds down to 2 HP, but he's made it out. An advantage as slim and thin a margin as it may be. But this is a necessary round for Eternal Fire. A pistol could bury them deep if they go into the next half 10-2 down.
Man advantage just about. A stubbed toe would take Neki out of this, and it needs to be a landed shot, and it will be for Fabian. That third round looking ever more likely, but they need to respect their opponent. It's not been Azuri's best map, no doubt about it, but he is someone who's had so many brilliant plays. And okay, maybe they don't need to respect him. Fabian decided, I'm ending this as we always play, aggressive. It's a third round in a sea of Eintracht Frankfurt red, but can they find more in the next?
Thank you so much for joining me, Audaz. Now you had...
But to be honest, they need that injection of rounds early on if they're to stand any chance of making that long run to Barcelona. Not so long for you. Scan that QR code and get your tickets for Eternal Fire. It's time to get off to a flying start, or they'll be buying tickets just like you.
The impossible.
Well, you know, Turkey is quite nice this time of year. But I don't think they want to be going back just yet. Fizzy sat in the corner. They've walked out maybe further than would have been expected, and Spear at least will get that opener. They need to clear this man, and no, the stun is going to make sure of that. A man advantage, B site open. Audaz incredibly far away, and it seems like a double lurk being set up by this attack side. It does mean those two are going to have to hold the line, but they're going to try and do it passively from main.
Well, they have to. Running down the clock is the only option. Jabalinho is suspicious. In fact, he's even spamming the box. Neki's got to be questioning whether he gave himself away at some point, but no. Unfortunately, they're not suspicious of the second flank, of the wraparound from Audaz. And now, well, the trigger's being pulled, the game given away, but the advantage firmly claimed. With no chance left, Monster, as good as he's been, has to concede the pistol. A necessary win, again confirmed by Eternal Fire. They are holding on for dear life.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, like you go into a game like this, you look at Eternal Fire, a team that are known for their aggression, their paciness, and that individual brilliance. And you say, okay, they're on the attack now. The expectations go up. You look at their opponents and say, yeah, they've had some pretty good attack side throughout this tournament, even in the play-in versus mates. Their defense, not quite as good. Expectations go up. But it almost feels harsh on Eintracht Frankfurt to even consider that this is possible, because they have been so good. The individuals have been there. The synergy's been there. And I think it's going to be down to Eternal Fire to win a few rounds in a row, maybe even get a bonus here or there to make me believe that they are going to turn, maybe not just this map, but the series back.
Well, that's it. They've got to prove that they've still got it in them, that there's some life left in the Eternal Fire, and that the flame hasn't gone out. Nice work by Echo. It's only the pistols he's up against, but he's only got a pistol himself. And finally, he will fall. Enough done, you'd imagine, though. Musashi buys a little bit of time, but there's no help on the way. Not in a meaningful way. If they decide to push this down, it'll be just his classic that greets them. And, well, in fact, now they've taken long enough that, yeah, Monster's going to be on site. Seen more than a few rounds like this. Classic rounds go the way of the lower bot. And, well, the distraction in play. Fizz, he's flying under the radar, but Spear spotted him. Well done. To avoid the danger, disaster averted for the attackers.
Yeah, all three rifles kept. A little bit of damage here and there, but not anything to really write home about. This is the round we're going to be looking at for Eternal Fire, I expect to see additional rifles brought up as well. They played that in a way of like, okay, we know we can't afford any SMGs, any gimmicky weapons going into the next round. We need this bonus to be a strong one, and it is going to be a strong one. 5 rifles across the board. Okay, none of the ultimates have been built up even close just yet, so that's going to be a non-factor, but they've given themselves a chance, a real chance, to fight for this bonus.
Well, it is B main contention early on. Doesn't look like Eintracht Frankfurt have given up on it either. Both teams waiting for the other to make a move. But it's all about this angle. Jamalino is going to give them the fight eventually. Swings deeper than expected. Even tags. I think there were 3 players on that angle, and he lights Spear down to 40. That's gone a lot better than I thought it would. The flash should send him back. But it's taking a lot for Eternal Fire to claim that control. They set a trap, it was walked into, and yet Eintracht Frankfurt are the ones that end up ahead. Slightly. Spear just minus shields, thanks to his heals.
See, normally this spot from Echo would hold a lot of value, but it's something that's clearly been given up by that defensive side. They're allowing them mid-control, they're allowing them space to clear into the vents. It leaves him with a potential backstab. Instead, though, it's Monster once again under pressure, but it's the spam from Fizzy. He gets there in time. Now they start going back, though, and that's where the gap was found. They knew they'd left that space, but clearly forgot about it later on.
Super late is Spear in this play as well, but Echo can manage to cut off those rotates, even the orb itself. It's a strange place to see it bloom, but it's going to stop you from retaking in that direction. The paranoia to delay up top. But the real danger here is, well, it would be Monster if Echo hadn't just snuck up behind and shredded the attackers. Monster being watched, but it won't make a difference to the first fight. He spotted Audaz running. He knows now where Neki is. But he's been caught by the Seas. He jumped in a second too early, and it's cost him precious time from the clock. As sand drains from the hourglass, Monster needs to find a fight, needs to force a mistake, and even then, there's no time for him to win the round anymore.
A nice attempt as always, but it is Echo that makes the play of the game. You're always watching him play, and it is, as the desk was saying, feast or famine. It's the same for Fabian as it is for him. The risk he takes going out of that orb was just like, okay, they need to move, so I'm going to take the timing to come up behind and just try and pinch them into position. It is a brilliant round from Echo, because 2 players dropped at the end, but also he's the one that opens up that B site in the first place. I even said it, like, they gave him that control, and it's just that 1 kill that he catches onto Jamalino that it is enough to completely unravel what was a pretty decent setup from Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, it looked like the defense had everything figured out. I like the setup towards the A site, but
Bring them down.
in the end, they'll get nothing for it. No wall this round. It's a very, very low buy for Eintracht Frankfurt. They play with pistols and the rifle in the hands of Monster. It looks like it's going to get a challenge. Fabian wants to accelerate. Eintracht Frankfurt had 4 players ready to catch him if he was to jump out there. Luckily, he doesn't. They move back in the other direction. The pistols, the only ones that are fighting here on mid. A good flash to open. Somehow they get a trade from that. That was Azuri from Vents. A very long-ranged frag. Keeping them in at 4v4. Honestly, when Monster has a rifle, it does feel like this is still a very dangerous round, and they're going back towards the numbers. Unknowingly, the attackers are playing into the hands of Eintracht Frankfurt.
That time getting to a point of no return. Can't use any ults to at least get them in. Viper's Pit would be available in a post-plant, but that won't be their problem. Monster once more springs to life, and he has brought Fabian down to a slither of HP. 20 seconds, 22 health, a player in the corner with the pistol, and once more, an Emoda Thrifty is a problem for the side of Eternal Fire. Eintracht Frankfurt, right place, right time.
It was 3 in a row.
For every click,
It was 3 in a row, but they falter here against the Pistols. That one rifle in the hands of Monster doing enough work to slow the entry into sight and tag the final player. Down to just one shot for Musashi.
Fizzy was celebrating too early.
Well, for double digits, for Monster 18 and 9, this is a tough one for Eternal Fire. The bounce back.
Alacağım seni Soner.
Sal sal.
Ha
Aldım,
B'yi
saydı
AB
aldı lan.
demiş olabilir. 2 B Evan sıkıyor.
Ben direkt B'ye kayıyorum o zaman. Ya.
Kitledi evet B'yi kitledi ya.
A'ya gitsenize siz. B'ye bir tane flash at öyle git gel. Benim dogumla flash at. A git.
Elbow'da Anıl, Elbow'da biri.
Tamam A gideceğiz. A
Kol
rampadan
atıyor, kol
oynuyor.
atıyor. Zıplayarak kol atıyor. Bekliyor bir, rampaya gidin.
B'de yok. lan
Rampa
A.
sıra olur mu?
Bomba attı.
Olabilir.
Ha belki
Ama kol atıyor, olamaz ya. Kol atıyor
Oğlum
bence.
neydi yok lan.
Elbow'da kol atıyor adam.
Abi spike atsana.
Rampadan oynayacağız bak. Side'dan direkt
Elbow
oynayamayız.
kalmış.
Dikenleri var
Side'deki-
girişte.
Anıl,
rampadan
side'deki
oynayacağız.
tek-
Rampada da bolu var.
Tamam. Gelin rampaya beraber.
Beyler molly atıyorum kendimi gösteriyorum bir de gideceğim.
Yürü
30
rampaya.
saniye 35 saniye.
Oğlum dur lan.
Tamam
Ben
ya.
oynuyorum.
Yürü rampaya yürü. Oğlum hayvana niye
Find
smoke
you.
attın?
30 seconds left.
Yakın.
Spike
Allah'ım
down
benim.
A.
Tutarsın. Beklesene geliyorum.
Bentli adam hala. Sen de. Var adam.
15 saniye.
20, 110'da 114. Astra bir epey Ömür. Site'de.
Neyin?
10 seconds, the plant needed, a Monster in the way, no chance. Eintracht Frankfurt up to 11, and an attempt from Eternal Fire to play into that set, but this time it was well defended.
Yeah, Azuri's guarding that exact gap, the wall in the same place. They put them exactly where they wanted to be, and that's been the difference. It seems like the game plan from Eintracht Frankfurt has been nigh on perfect. And Azuri, again, we highlight him at the beginning of the match, someone who's had unbelievable performances, has been up the top of the board. It's not been his best day individually.
Going. I'm so happy Uli's not here because the level of I told you so I'd be experiencing. I'm surprised he didn't let it go the other day. That he did let it go the other day. I've been spared. But Monster, honestly, if a top team does not have this guy on their roster next year, then their scouting department's a fraud.
Well, I don't even think it's a scouting department at this point.
This
He's
is
doing
not
it on
scouting
the
anymore.
stage. I've found this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He played on the VCT stage the other day. I don't think that counts. I don't think it needs to do anything. And that's also if Eintracht Frankfurt let him go. Because why would you at this point? Jamalino, good start. He's got a knife kill. He's knifed Fabian. Fabian's having a bad enough day as it is. He didn't need that one. Showstopper on 25 health.
Okay, Musashi.
So that's why
listen,
you've
the
done
knife kill-
Showstopper on 25. I thought he was going to
The
shoot it
knife
through
kill
the
was-
smoke.
So
through
did
the
I.
smoke, fine.
The knife kill
That
was one bridge too far. This one is, we have gone
planted.
leagues out of the zone we should be playing in.
The only thing I will say is the golden rule has not been achieved yet. Monster is alive.
Last player standing.
Well, that did
There we
not
go.
last
So round
very
over.
long.
There we go.
Find
No
you.
offense, Azuri, but we made it the rule. The rule has been achieved. Congratulations on the 7th round of Eternal Fire.
And it is indeed locked in. They know the rules themselves. This is
So do I.
a crazy round. For the stakes that we're playing at here, again, Eternal Fire, I understand the confidence. You know, when your bannerman just runs forward, blade in hand, and cuts them down to size. I get it. You want to show off as well. Hey, Jamalino, watch this. Watch what I'm dead. You know, it's not great. But it is just a hiccup, a bump in the road. But for Eternal Fire, as we said in the last map, a spark can reignite that flame, one that apparently never goes out. It's, you know, you're such a piece of work for that. Maybe this could be the round that gets them back on the saddle. He knows what he did. He knows what he did.
He also knows what he did.
Well,
I will say, Musashi and his ults.
yeah.
Seems like a good leader. Good player. But his ults today have...
Just hand the keyboard over next time. Guys, my ult's online. Can you do it? Can you do it
don't
for me?
think that's allowed.
It's not? Oh.
No, I don't think we're...
I'll have
I
to
think
check the
Ahmed's my
rulebook.
words. You can read?
No, I'll...
Audio description.
Exactly. I'll have a text-to-speech. 4 rounds needed to even equalize here, and look at the slow. Not just the grab well, but the thorns in the way. Spear's ultimate cancelled out by a small bit of utility, and that dive in from Fabian. I'm not sure what wave he was riding there, but it didn't raise any other boats along the way. A rising tide, but they have been washed away by their own hubris. That was a disconnected play by Eternal Fire, and I'm not sure if they're telling them to sit down or telling them that they're on their way out.
Well, yeah, this is the most exciting thing about this tournament so far. We came into the play-in with 8 Tier 1 teams and 4 challengers. We have seen 6 Tier 1 teams already be eliminated. We have already had Foot as maybe the only one that will make it through with Enterprise. And unfortunately, we will guaranteed lose one more Challengers team because they have to play each other in the other match later today. But the fact is, this has been an unearthing of what has been the partnership. Sure, the top 4 will try and prove that there are still some good teams in EMEA. And maybe Fabian and Spear have an answer, but not to Jamalino. The 16-year-old is looking to seal the day, seal the deal, and take Eintracht Frankfurt to the playoffs. 8 Tier 1 teams entered, only